Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Nathan.
Welcome to episode 31 of Adventures and Mousecapades.
Today we're talking about the rivalry between the kingdoms of Gilder and Florin.
This goes back centuries.
Oh, I wonder what will happen. For those of you who don't know, that is a Princess Bride reference.
Yes. Today we're actually talking about the second leg of our Hawaii trip in 2016.
Yes.
To Aulani on the island of Oahu in Hawaii.
Indeed. So picking up from last week, we spent a week on Maui and had just an amazing time. Mm-hmm. And then we island hopped the short trip from Maui over to Oahu and had a week, actually 8 nights at Aulani, our home resort. And again, it was just us.
Just us.
Having a wonderful trip with adult reconnection and enjoyment of our kids being taken care of by our parents.
Yes.
Because we needed a break.
Yep, we needed a break. Yep. I have our first picture of Aulani is of food, and it is a Rogue One Darth Vader cupcake.
Yes.
Rogue One was actually not out yet. It was coming out later in the year, but it's a chocolate cupcake with a chocolate Darth Vader helmet on top. I'm guessing that's a red lightsaber sticking out of it as well.
Yeah.
And then a white chocolate label on the top that says Rogue One on it.
It's funny, we actually had to go back and double check, like, wait, was this an early spoiler for
Darth Vader?
Darth Vader being in it? And no, it was teased for like half a second at the end of the trailer.
You heard him breathing.
Yes, you heard him breathing. And there was a little shot of his head on the bridge.
Yes. Yeah.
But so it wasn't a complete surprise. But it was cute. It was a nice welcome home.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got our beautiful flower lays. Well, I got a beautiful flower lay. You probably got is it the kui nut?
Yeah.
Lay? Yeah.
Which are beautiful.
Yeah, those are gorgeous
yes.
too. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yes.
And of course, it's Aulani. So we saw Chip and Dale. We saw characters walking around.
Yep.
And Nathan has a picture of Chip trying to use the house phone in one of the hallways.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Like, he's just like, he couldn't get it to work.
Oh, it was ringing. I think it was ringing.
Oh, that's right.
It just kept ringing and ringing, and he went over there and he couldn't pick it up or anything.
No.
But yeah,
it was hilarious. He just kind of shrugged and was like,
whatever,
and then walked off.
Yep.
It was cute. It was cute. I miss Hawaii. I miss Aulani. Looking forward to going back in the not too distant future. Yeah. Once our busy travel schedule, allows.
Yeah. For this trip, we got a 1-bedroom ocean view room.
Yep.
And it was nice. It looked out over the
lazy river.
The lazy river. It actually has a name, and I cannot remember the name. It's something Valley. I'll have to look it up.
Wanahakalugi?
No,
that's different.
It does. I think it does start with a W, though.
Ah, yes, the Waikolohe Valley, with the Waikolohe Stream, which is the lazy river, and the Pu'u'ukilo, which is the volcano, which is a couple water slides, and all sorts of fun stuff.
Yes.
To do. So yeah, it was a beautiful view overlooking all of this and out to the ocean.
Mm-hmm. And we were up pretty high. We were in room 1458, so that's up a little bit higher, which is nice.
Yep. It was a great view. And then interestingly, that night we went to the luau there at the resort, but it was just the show. It wasn't the meal.
I think this was before they changed it.
But we had the meal with the kids, didn't we?
Yes, we did. But I think they had changed it, like they'd redone the luau in between our trips.
Oh, so it wasn't as cool as it was before.
Yeah.
Wah, wah. And now, is it gone now? Do I have that right?
I do not know. I'd have to look it up. I mean, Disney is always changing and updating things.
Yeah.
And I know they've done a couple things with this luau.
I may be thinking of the luau at the Polynesian in.
That's just gone.
That's just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for this evening, it's sit down seating only, like sit down on the ground seating, lawn seating for the luau. And we have pictures of the performers doing their thing, and it looks like Stitch was up there doing the hula as well. Yeah, nice way to start off our evening.
Yeah.
In Aulani.
Yeah, it was fun. And the nice thing about staying at DVC Villas, we've got a full kitchen and everything, so we're able to do, like, we're not eating out all the time. We're able to do meals there in the room and stuff like that. And yeah, so it's just nice.
It is.
It's just nice.
It is.
Our first day there, first full day rather, day 8 of our overall trip, we went out and we were gonna, again, do our thing. We're gonna go out and do some driving and stuff like that, and just kind of exploring and see what kind of cool sights that we could run across and see. We randomly ran into Daisy and Donald down on our way out the door, and
in their tropical gear.
Yeah, good to see them. And then we drove down to kind of the southeast corner of Oahu. Made a couple stops. We stopped over at Coco Head. No, we did not climb the Coco Head Trail.
Nope.
Also known as the stairs. It's basically this old. It used to be like an elevated or an incline railway that would take you up to the top, and that's all gone. But the rail ties are still there as steps. There's 1,048 of them, and that's a big old. Oh heck no, we're not doing
that. That's not happening.
And then we, just kind of drove around that corner of the island. Makupu Point, and the overlooks there over by the lighthouse, and we just, I don't know, we just kind of went exploring.
We just drove, we like to drive
Yep.
around, and this is a beautiful area to drive around. It's a nice, bright, sunny day.
Yeah. Yep.
Gorgeous stuff.
Yep. We had dinner there. We ate out. Or at least we had dessert out, and Alicia had it wasn't her birthday, but I probably told them that it was her birthday, and she got a candle in her dessert.
Is this I think this was at Ama.
Yeah, I think so. It was just, we have fun like that.
Yeah.
I do have a picture of the lifeguard staff that we could see from our rooms after the pools had closed and everything. They were doing rescue training.
Oh, that's
right.
And
so there's like 6 people in lifeguard uniforms all splayed out, all getting quote unquote CPR and other assistance from
they
their
were not
peers.
They were not using CPR dummies.
No,
it was just people.
It was them.
Looks kind of funny.
Yeah, it was fun.
The next morning, we had a character breakfast at the Makahiki restaurant.
Yeah.
Which means bounty of the island.
Indeed. And I love that breakfast. I love.
Yep. We just like character breakfasts anyway.
And we like this resort. So.
Yep.
And then the big thing that we did on that day was a drive over to the Polynesian Cultural Center, which is on the north shore of Oahu. So it's a little bit of a drive to get over there. And we spent like 9+ hours there.
Yes.
We had basically a tour guide for the day. We did what they call the Super Ambassador package. And the Polynesian Cultural Center is a kind of like here in the States, I guess you'd call it like a living museum. Not that Hawaii is not part of the United States, but if you're thinking about
Mainland.
like in the mainland, like Old Salem or something like that, or an old Western town where like they're kind of like showing you how things, people lived back in the day or whatever. It's this kind of thing, but with the different Polynesian cultures, and they talk about how they all tie together and how they're all related, but what makes them unique. And you get kind of these demonstrations and little mini lectures and programs from several different Polynesian countries. And I want to say there's like 7 or 8 different regions or islands that are represented there.
There are 6 island villages.
Okay, so I over-exaggerated. And it was just so fascinating to see everything. And the people were incredibly warm and just friendly and eager to answer questions. And it was just, the food we had while we were there was incredible. And it was just really, really neat to be exposed to all these different cultures and really celebrate them.
The different islands in this experience are Aotearoa, which is New Zealand, basically, Hawaii, Tahiti, Fiji, Tonga, and Samoa.
Yeah. And they all have their own little kind of neighborhood, if you will.
Villages.
And, one of the places they were doing a bunch of handcrafted quilts, like they were doing all the quilting by hand. And it was just stunningly beautiful. I remember we got a gift from my mom, who loves doing quilts and things like that, from here. And just the craftsmanship and the colors and the artisanship, just I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah.
The whole experience, the whole day there is just absolutely incredible.
It was amazing. Each little village gave basically a presentation of their culture, what's important to them.
Yeah.
Maybe a dance or a song or something for each area. And I believe we got to see a couple neat things. Like there was a climbing the palm trees.
Yes.
Like somebody climbed a palm tree that was like 6 or 7 stories tall.
Yeah, these guys are insane.
Oh, it's crazy. We got to see somebody open up a coconut. There was a lot of stuff there. And there was, after we went through a bunch of the different villages, we sat down and basically watched a river barge presentation.
Mm-hmm. It's like a parade that they come through on and do, all these islands kind of do a little thing from a parade float, except it's literally a float, which is really cool. And they kind of have their own canoe journey. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a boat, and it kind of weaves through. It's almost like a Disney ride where like Living with the Land or something like that, where you're in a boat and you see all sorts of different scenes and learn about all sorts of different stuff. And then they have a dinner that was incredibly scrumptious. Mm-hmm. It was great. And then they have a show.
Yes.
At the end of the night.
I think it was called Breath of Life. And as part of the package that we did, they called it platinum seating. The first 2 rows of the place, we were like front and center.
Yeah.
And there were no pictures or recordings allowed when we were doing this. It was like nothing I've seen before. Yeah. I really wish I knew how to explain this. It was a story of life, I guess.
Yeah, it was.
I'm sorry, I'm not being very descriptive.
This
with
doesn't
that.
help for a podcast. Neither of us are able to kind of articulate this, but let's just put it this way: like, it's not cheap. Like, for the level of experience that we did, Alicia and I are 100% in agreement that we will do this again, and it's just. It's incredible. It's an experience.
I found the description of the Breath of Life show. Whew. This is from the Polynesian Cultural Center's website.
Okay.
The symbolic story of Mana and his beloved Lani. punctuated by Polynesian dance, music, and blazing fire knives, is told in Ha, Breath of Life, our stunning evening show featuring over 100 Polynesian natives, special effects, animation, and surround sound. It is a Pacific Isle saga of birth and death, love and family, tragedy, and triumph. That's a pretty dang good description right there.
It was all of those things.
Yes.
That's not just a bunch of words.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you got out of
Yep.
it.
It was amazing.
Yeah. I want to do this again.
I do too.
Yeah.
Next time we go
Next
to
time we go.
Aulani.
Yes.
It's been too long.
It
Aulani.
has. We tried.
We did try.
We tried really hard. Like, we wanted to go back in 2020.
Celebrate our 20th.
Yeah, one of the things that we did a couple days later on this trip was, sit with a wedding planner. Obviously, Alicia and I are already married, but
We wanted to do a vow renewal.
we were exploring
service.
doing a vow renewal at Aulani, and also involving my parents, because 2020 was our 20th wedding anniversary, and it was my parents' 50th, and we were gonna fly everybody out and make a big deal.
Do like a joint renewal ceremony. Yep.
And we wanted to go take my parents to the Polynesian Cultural Center because we knew they would love it.
Yep.
And do a few other things, and
Yep. It did not happen.
no, I have such lament over that.
Yeah. That was a hard loss.
Yeah.
To go with.
Yep.
But we absolutely loved the Polynesian Cultural Center.
Yeah.
And our guide was amazing.
Yes.
He didn't want to take pictures. He was very shy in that regard.
Yeah.
But I just remember him being amazing. He was funny. He was shy, but was so knowledgeable about everything. And he actually, when we went to whatever land that was, where they did the haka, they called him up like, come on, you're part of this too. And
Because he was from New Zealand.
Yeah, he went up there and he did the haka with them, which was, I love seeing that. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
So powerful.
That was such a great day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll go back.
Yep.
If you're not, dear listener, when you go to Oahu sometime, go to the Polynesian Cultural Center. When you go to Maui, do sunset at Haleakala. Yeah. Such good stuff.
And there's different pricing tiers for checking out the Polynesian Cultural Center as well. We wanted the top tier experience, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
To have a guide.
Yeah.
And to have tickets at the show and everything.
Right. I mean, you can very much kind of like self-guide yourself around everything, and just like, you don't have to do what we did. But I feel like we got way more than we paid for out of this experience by having it set out and for us. And it was a curated experience, and it was so well done. It was so well done. The next day, we took a visit over to Pearl Harbor. This is something that I think we will also probably do every time that we go to Oahu. It's
a very different experience.
It is the opposite of everything that we just explained.
It's very solemn.
Yes. It is impactful.
Yes.
It makes you think.
Mm-hmm.
It really makes you think about everything that people have given for us, and their sacrifices that have been made. Yeah. So we took the boat out to the USS Arizona Memorial. We walked around the Pearl Harbor National Memorial Museum. You can take a bus over to Ford Island, and there's the Pearl Harbor Aviation Museum. They had just finished repainting the iconic control tower, red and white control tower, right before we got there, and restoring it. I believe since we were there, and I don't know if it's reopened since the pandemic, but like the control tower opened for tours. Like you can go up there and see like this panoramic view of
that's
Pearl
cool.
Harbor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very cool. We saw this sign that says Amelia Earhart crashed here. You know, so used to seeing like George Washington slept here or Lafayette slept here. It's like, no, Amelia Earhart crashed here.
Yes.
So, okay. And then we took a tour on the USS Missouri, which was really neat. Like we had been there a couple years before
With the kids.
And
just did the general tour that they have.
yeah, it was just kind of like self-guided,
Yep.
do whatever you want to do.
No. They have a self-guided tour and then there's a general tour. We did the general tour where you had somebody
Okay.
walking you through stuff. This one was something that's not available on their site anymore. I don't know exactly what it was. It was a little bit extra. It was a general tour and then some. We got to go in areas that aren't normally toured.
Right. Like we got to go down to the engine room.
Yeah.
And, like it was so
It was
very
really
cool.
Yeah. We got to like go up into where they shoot the guns. What is that called?
The turret?
The turret? Is that what it was?
I don't know if the turret was open. I know we got to go up like into the bridge and see some stuff from up there. And I don't know. I love all that stuff.
Whatever this photo is. I remember there was something only one person could go up at a time.
I was up in the turret.
To get in there.
I was up in one of the turrets.
So yeah, we got to go up into the turret. That was pretty cool.
It was cool. It was educational. I don't think either of us had planned on walking as much as we ended up doing over at the Aviation Museum.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know if it's the same today, but back then it seemed like they were kind of refreshing a lot of their exhibits and reorganizing everything. And it was very spread out. And so we had to walk a lot around that. But it was a good day. It was worth the time. And the USS Arizona Memorial, just it's impactful and gut wrenching, and you feel proud and honored and all the feelings when you're there, every time that you're there.
Yeah.
And it is a stunning monument to the service members who lost their lives, not only on the Arizona, but really everybody who lost their lives there that day in 1941.
Yeah, that's always, like I said earlier, it's such a solemn experience.
Yeah. Yep.
But very much worth it to go take a look at just the history and to see everything.
Yep. Day 11, the next day, again, this was kind of more of a down day. This is actually when we had our meeting with the wedding planner and looking at different venues and things like that. And I think we had driven around to some other places on the island, just kind of scoping some stuff out.
Yeah, just looking
well.
around for places.
Again, this was just so you get an idea of how Alicia and I roll. This was 2016, and we're planning for an event in 2020.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how we do.
Yes.
Hey, get you guys more content to listen to.
Yeah, we've got plans for a couple years out at this point.
Yes, we do. Even the day after that, day 12, we drove out to the western end of Oahu. So basically, come out of Aulani and take a left.
Yes.
And go all the way out to the end.
Go that way.
To like the road ends, and you could do some hiking along the beach. There's a big like roadside cave you can go explore. It's just beautiful out there.
I don't remember too much from that day. It was just driving and exploring, looking around that area. I know you can, like you said, you can only go to a certain point past there, and it's just like no more road.
Right. The irony is you can do that on both the south side of that point and the north side of that point, and you're like a half a mile like from the road, like the end of the road on both sides, but you can't
You
get
just
there.
can't go through.
Right. Like there's not even a dirt road. There's just like there's nothing out there.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And then the next day was just a total relaxation day as well.
Yep.
I'm sure we went down to the lagoon, played in the ocean,
Absolutely.
read, probably listened to the music that they have in the evening at the cafe,
Yes.
lounge bar area.
I'm sure we took a turn in the lazy river.
Yep.
Yep.
I
Just
love the lazy river.
yeah, just kind of hanging out.
And on day 13 was more driving.
Yes.
We drove over to Hanuama Bay
Yeah, it was just
along the cliffs.
it's a super popular snorkeling site actually and beach. You have to pay. The price has changed. Anyhow,
a couple dollars.
I think it's a little more now.
Okay.
But you have to pay to get in there. It's a state park. If I remember correctly, these days you need to get there early because it has gotten so popular that the parking lot will close because it gets full. So make sure if you really want to go out there, and highly recommended you do, just plan accordingly to get there, and make sure you have a little bit, a card, or don't be surprised that you're going to have to pay to get in. We didn't go down to the beach, but we did do some hiking along the top of the cliffs and everything out there at Hanuama Bay, and it's just stunningly gorgeous. And then we continued driving kind of all around the North Shore, and stopping here and there at various pull-offs and little parks and beaches. And it was kind of a stormy day. We were dodging rain showers and whatnot, but the sea was angry that day, and beautiful. Waves crashing and many more pictures trying to get the perfect shot of the water crashing up on the rocks and things like that. So we got around the eastern point there on Oahu, and you go past like this turnout, and there's a lighthouse out there, and then you descend precipitously really back down to sea level, and there's a sea life park down there, kind of like a Hawaiian mini version of like SeaWorld or something like that. Obviously not with the roller coasters, but like just, the an outdoor aquarium kind of thing. And we get down there, we're at sea level, and the tsunami sirens go off.
Yes.
And yeah, we kind of freaked out.
Yes, we did. We got back into the vehicle and went back up to where the lighthouse was.
Yes, because that was like 300 feet up the hill.
Yes.
And we were freaked out, and we like flipped over to the radio stations, and like nobody had anything on.
Yeah.
We were like, what the hell is going on here? And it turns out it was just a test.
Yes.
But like,
we were a little freaked out. We didn't know what was going on.
no, it wasn't well publicized.
No.
It would have been great for the folks at the resort to put a flyer out or something to say, hey,
By the way,
at noon or 1 or whatever time it was, the tsunami sirens are going to be tested. Yeah, we didn't know that. It was interesting. One of our good friends was just down at Cannon Beach in Oregon a couple weeks ago, and they shared a video of cows mooing, and they were down there at the beach, and Cannon Beach is susceptible to tsunamis and things like that on the Oregon coast. And the way that they test the tsunami sirens there is by playing a herd of cows mooing. And then they have a recording that says, this is a test. If this had been a real tsunami, you would have heard sirens. Like, I'm just like, why couldn't they do that in Hawaii?
mooing cows.
Mooing cows would be perfect in Hawaii. Oh, yeah, that was a heart attack moment for sure.
Yeah, it was kind of scary.
Yeah. After we, got our heart rates down sufficiently and realized that none of the locals were freaking out, so I guess everybody else knew what was going on, we kind of continued on our drive around the North Shore and stopping at all sorts of spots. And most everywhere we stopped had hey, had
Chickens everywhere.
Hawaii chickens, and it was just it was fun. And it was a long drive day. We drove around the southern coast all the way out to the east, and then drove the whole North Shore all the way out as far as west as you could go. So we basically, between a couple days before and then this day, we drove the whole island, the whole circumference that's at least accessible around the island of Oahu. And I love it. I would do it again.
Yeah.
It's so fun. And then you come back through the middle and you go past the Dole Plantation. And I'm sure we stopped at the coffee stop there and picked up some
coffee.
picked up some coffee for Grammy Poppy so they could kind of recover, if you will,
Have some Kona coffee.
from dealing with our kids for a couple of weeks. And it was, again, a nice relaxing day. And then time to pack and get ready to leave the next day.
Time to enjoy the sunset and pack.
Absolutely. We the next morning we treated ourselves to breakfast at Ama Ama, which is the fancy restaurant there at Aulani. And then it was time for an afternoon flight home and back to Seattle.
We have our sad face going home picture.
Yes. On the airplane, staring at the camera, just, I don't want to go home. Well, if you want to take a trip and you want to be disappointed to be going home, you should work with a travel agent to find that place that you really don't want to leave and go back to reality.
Yes. If you have any questions or suggestions, please email us, podcast@adventuresinmousecapades.com. Follow us on socials at Our Mousecapades. Take a moment and rate and review in your podcast app to help people find us.
Aloha, everybody. We will talk to you next time.
Aloha.
Thank you for flying Star Tours. Bye-bye.